Hi everybody, here is a video about World War I. It will take you through 22 slides of information. Please take notes on this and answer the questions at the end. Turn those questions in for a homework grade. You ready? World War I, 1914 to 1918. Remember, there's four main ideas in World War I. Militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. All four of these things are causes of World War I. Militarism. New technology was being used, like the machine gun and the airplane, not to mention some other things like poisonous gas and tanks. They even toyed around with the idea of using blimps in battle, but it's difficult to have a blimp because it's full of gases and one little spark and they exploded. Now, alliances. European countries were making allies in order to maintain a balance of power, something that had kept Europe from going to war since the Congress of Vienna in 1815, when Clemens von Metternich created a balance of power after Napoleon had kind of run roughshod through Europe in the early 1800s. Now, imperialism. Remember Africa? They divided up the whole continent, these European countries, in search for raw materials. Now, don't forget Southeast Asia and the rubber trees, things like that. All right, and then China. All right, the Opium War, the Boxer Rebellion. There have been a lot of terrible acts, all right, in the name of imperialism. Now, nationalism. And this is not just in Europe, but also in Africa and other areas. Remember Shaka? Zulu was a big nationalist in Africa. But think of Gandhi in India. He's sometimes our nationalist guy when we want to think about somebody rebelling against a European power. Now, there's a lot of tension everywhere. People were just agitated. They were ready to fight. All right? It was like the middle school lunchroom. All right? Everybody was talking about each other behind their back, and there was lots of tension. Now, people just need a little push for a war to begin. Just a little, somebody to kind of incite them. Now, this is the area of Europe, all right? This is the area that's called the Balkans. We've seen this, like a map about this in class already. The Balkans were, remember, that powder keg. And in the Balkan, there's a nationalist movement. This nationalist movement was known as the Black Hand. All right, the Black Hand was an ultra-nationalist group. They were very agitated. Now, this group assassinates a guy named Archduke Franz Ferdinand in a little city called Sarajevo in the Balkans. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, all right, was the Archduke of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. All right. This Archduke is going to be the future leader of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. You'll often see me and a lot of other teachers, if you take any of this in college, they'll often hyphenate Austro-Hungarian, just A-H. Now, when he is killed, Austria-Hungary blames the Black Hand, and Germany supports the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Now, the Black Hand is like, that's like blaming, any obscure group on something terrible happening. The Black Hand really isn't organized enough to do much of anything other than kind of provoke a response. So Russia gets involved because Russia supports the Black Hand. All right, because ethnically they were similar. They were all Serbs. Now the Black Hand is like almost like any country which would support another country or another group having like freedom fighters. The Black Hand didn't see themselves as like a terrorist group. They saw themselves as striving for acceptance in a world that was not fair to them. So remember, let's just remember, France is still allied with Russia. So if Russia is going to come to the aid of the Black Hand, France is then also going to come to the aid of the Black Hand. This isolates Austria-Hungary. Great Britain is allied with France. So now Great Britain is allied with France, who's allied with Russia. Great Britain will come to the aid of the Black Hand. And this is where we get the Triple Entente and the Triple Alliance. The Triple Entente in this little diagram is in red. The Triple Alliance is in green. All right? Now, I left the Italy out of the Triple Alliance because Italy will start in the Triple Alliance and then they'll switch to the Triple Entente. We're going to talk about that in class. The original Triple Alliance is Austria-Hungary, Germany, and the Ottoman Empire. And Ottoman Empire starts to kind of disintegrate and fall apart. Italy gets involved, and it's funny that they keep calling this the Triple and the Triple, because ultimately it's not just a triple, three. There are many more countries involved. Now, eventually, Italy, as I mentioned a minute ago, is going to join Austria-Hungary, all right, but then it's going to switch sides in 1915. In 1917, the United States is going to join Great Britain, France, and at that point, Italy and Russia, in fighting Austria-Hungary and Germany. The war is going to end 11/11/18, November 11th, 1918, a date that today we call Veterans Day, but back then it was just known as the Armistice Day. Armistice means ceasefire. Now, 1919, the Treaty of Versailles is signed by everyone but the United States. We did not sign the Treaty of Versailles. We did not agree to the conditions of the ceasefire and eventually the end of the war. In fact, it wasn't until 1922 that we signed a separate treaty. It was known as like the Treaty of San Francisco. It's really not important, but it's just kind of interesting that the United States, who helped write the Treaty of Versailles, didn't sign it. And that's a little tidbit of history that we're going to go over. It's kind of interesting. Now, answer the next two questions. This is due February 24th, and altogether it's worth 20 points. So each one is worth 10 points. Name one cause of World War I. Just one cause. And then, what was the role of Maine? That's an acronym, remember. M-A-I-N. That's a four-part answer. You've got to describe the role of each one of those sections. That's, again, a four-part answer. So altogether, you really have like five questions in a way, but really it's just two basic questions. And remember, that's a four-part answer. Okay? So when you write this out, just turn it in on a separate piece of paper. Just write out the question. Name one cause of World War I. List the cause. Then question number two, what was the role of Maine? M-A-I-N, and then describe the role of each one of those four things. All right, if you need to repeat this, check it out, read it over, need to ask me any questions, feel free to email me, rgould@berlincentral.org. Check the website that you got this from. All my contact information is there. Hopefully you're going to do this over break. So if you're in the middle of break, I hope it's snowy and you're bored and you do a great job on this. You're all good kids, and I wish you the best. Take care. Bye.